Hey friends, welcome back to another Vinyasa flow. This one's going to be a little bit more simple with a twist, of course. We are going to be building heat and strength in the full body, but in particular the lower body, by repeating similar sequences and using simple asanas that most of us will know. This is an open practice, so even if you're a beginner, if you're a more regular practitioner, there will be options for everyone. We are going to get started in a standing position here. So tucking under the toes, lifting yourself up and come to the top of your mat if you have one. Your feet can be together or hip width distance, up to you. We're going to start with our hands in our Anjali Mudra, so hands by heart center. Softening the knees, softening the shoulders, closing down the eyes. And already just starting to tap into that connection between the physical body and the heart. And just noticing how those different layers are feeling today. So noticing the physical body, how the physical body is feeling. Noticing the mental body, the emotional body. Asking them how they're feeling today. And just using this time as a check-in period, a transition time between our outer world and our inner world. And just reminding ourselves that even though we move through shapes in our body, it's not necessarily about what it looks like, what it feels like, not just in the body, but also on a deeper level. Yoga is an energetic practice. It's about moving energy through the body and through the more subtle bodies as well. And that's what we're aiming to do today. Move energy to connect deeper so that we can return back into the rest of our day, turn back into the rest of our night, wherever we are, more clear, more centered, more open, aware. Whatever you would like to bring in. And before we start to breathe and before we start to move more, perhaps you would like to set an intention here. Perhaps this is a value, a word, a mantra. Ask yourself what you'd like to see in yourself, what you need. And then repeat this to yourself a couple of times. And while we're doing this, let's take about 3 to 5 more deep breaths, reminding ourselves that we're breathing deep into the diaphragm, the ribs, and the chest. Feeling that 3-dimensional breath, so not just up and down, but forward and back and side to side. Perhaps even layering on your Ujjayi pranayama, so the constriction of the back of the throat as you inhale and exhale. Pulling all your attention onto this mat right at this moment. Perhaps start to open your eyes here and use your next breath in to sweep both of your hands high. Urdhva Hastasana, lift the eye gaze. As you exhale, just bend your knees and tip yourself forward into your Uttanasana. Your first fold here will just take a couple of breaths. Perhaps it feels good to shake the upper body from side to side, bend one knee, bend the other knee. Just letting the weight of the upper body hang you down. Let it release down the back of the legs as well. Find your way back through center. Bring the hands towards the shins. Big breath in through the nose as we lift halfway. As we exhale, bring the hands towards the ground and step back towards your plank position. First round, we'll all drop our knees down. Start to take a few circles on the wrists. So circling out your wrists in one direction. Make sure that the fingertips are spread wide here. Knuckles are pressing into the ground. And then just shifting your weight in the other direction. Hands are towards the edges of the mat. That's going to broaden out and give us our a broader base of support. Let's all shift the weight forward. Take a big breath in. Keep the spine long as you bend the elbows and come all the way down to your belly on your exhale. Untuck the toes if they haven't already. Take a big breath in through the nose, baby cobra. Light press of the hands, draw the elbows back. As we exhale, press up onto your knees. Sink back into your child's pose, your balasana. So hips land over the heels. Forehead rests towards the ground. Reach the fingertips out in front of you. Take one more breath here. Perhaps even closing down your eyes, feeling that centeredness in your body, in your mind. And then use your next breath in to roll yourself up to a tabletop position. Tuck onto the toes and then send your hips up and back into your Ardha Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. Perhaps you take a little bit more time here to pedal out the feet, walking your dog, drawing one foot down and then the other foot down. Drawing the chest towards the thighs, just making this movement feel really good in the body. It doesn't have to look like a particular shape. You can move in any way that feels good. Likewise, if anything that we do today doesn't feel good in the body, then feel free to do your own thing. Let's try one more breath here. Maybe you find a moment of stillness. And then use your next breath in to walk up towards the top of the mat, feet together or slightly apart. As we exhale, fold yourself forward, Uttanasana. Take a big breath in, inhale, halfway lift. As we exhale, fold again, Uttanasana, chin into chest. Inhale to rise, lift the arms of the eye gaze. As you exhale, hands by the sides, Tadasana. Just a note, if you do have your feet together, draw the toes in and the heels slightly apart, and that's going to keep the ankles in line with the toes. We're going to try that Surya Namaskara a couple more times with a bit more pace. Breathe in, lift the arms above your head, squeeze the glutes. As you exhale, tip from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reach with the crown of the head. As you exhale, hands down, step back into your plank position. Knees or toes, inhale, shift the weight forward. As you exhale, bend the elbows close, option to lower halfway this time. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Thighs off the ground, press through the hands. As you exhale, come up and back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Stay here for about 3 breaths. Make sure that the knees aren't locking out, so we've got a soft bend in them, and that's going to encourage the spine to elongate, to pull the chest through. Use your next breath in to walk up towards the top of the mat. As you exhale, fold yourself forward. Inhaling, halfway lift, maybe even lift the eye gaze slightly. As you exhale, fold again. Inhale to rise, lift the arms, press the palms together. As you exhale, hands by the sides, Tadasana, palms face forward. Inhale to lift. Exhale, send it back down. Inhale, inflate halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, option to step, or you can hop back through your Chaturanga. So one exhale to get there. Bending the elbows close. Inhale to open, press away from the ground, spread the fingertips wide. Exhale, come up and back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Soften the heels here. Draw the armpits towards the knees. Let's try one more breath. Belly button lifts into the spine. Use your next breath in to either step, or you can bend your knees, look forward, and try hop in between your hands, or somewhere in between your hands. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to root back down into your Uttanasana. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands by the sides. Inhale to lift. Maybe baby back bend. Exhale, fold it back down. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, step, hop, jump back through your Chaturanga. Exhaling. Inhale to lift. Draw the ankles together, and then as you exhale, come up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. 2 more breaths. Perhaps you even close down the eyes here, or if your eyes are open, just bring them in between your toes. Use your next in-breath to either step or bend your knees, look forward, hop in between your hands. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rebound. Exhale, send it back down. Inhale to rise, maybe baby back bend to lengthen through the hip flexors, squeezing the glutes, and then as you exhale, Tadasana last time. Inhale to lift. Exhale, bend the knees, send it forward, find your flow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, your way back into your downward facing dog. Take one breath here. Start to bend your knees, look yourself forward. This time, step the right foot in between the hands. Plant the back foot on a 45-degree. Make sure it's out slightly. Inhale, lift the arms up, Virabhadrasana 1. So the left foot isn't directly behind the right foot, it's out to the side, and that's going to allow you to draw the left hip forward slightly. Shoulders are down, deepen into the hips. Big breath in, lift through the arms. As you exhale, tip yourself forward, reach the hands towards your back foot. Inhale to lift, stay low in the legs. As you exhale, tip. Brace the core, big breath in, lift. As you exhale, tip, this time hold here. So you're pulling the belly button away from the thighs. You're trying to reach towards the back of your mat. Use your next breath in, stay with the legs, but reach the arms forward, palms face together. Shoulders pull away from the ears, really building some heat into the legs, into the shoulders. One more breath. When you're ready, bring the hands back down. Step back into your plank position. Now either on your knees or your toes, we lower Chaturanga for a count of 4. Ready? So shift the weight forward, in breath. As you exhale, lower. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom. Use your next breath in to pull through either baby cobra or upward facing. As you exhale, up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press through the palms, draw the chest through. When you're ready, bend the knees. Big breath in as you step the left foot in between the hands. As you exhale, place that back foot on a 45 and then use your breath in to sweep the arms high. Virabhadrasana 1. This is quite a lot for the back heel, so if you need to, lift the back heel off into a high lunge. If you do have the heel down, try press the outer foot towards the ground. Big breath in, lift through the fingertips. As you exhale, sweep through the hands, reach towards the back foot. Use your next breath in, stay low, lift the arms, maybe lifting the eye gaze, draw the ribs in. As you exhale, tip again. Last time, inhale to lift. Exhale, reach back. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Keep drawing that right hip down. Bend into that left leg. Draw the shoulders onto the back body. When you're ready, breathe in and sweep the hands forward. So we're making one long line from the fingertips all the way down to that back foot. Shoulders pull down, but keep the energy extending through the front hands. One more breath. When you're ready, hands come towards the ground. Breathe in as you step your left foot back into your plank. Same thing, lower for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold to the bottom, brace the core, squeeze the glutes. Use your next breath in to push away and lift. As you exhale, come up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Ooh. Any point you want to come down and rest in your Balasana, your child's pose, please feel free to. This is your practice. We'll take 2 more breaths wherever we are. Finding that flow of breath, knowing that if any unhelpful thoughts come up, you do have the power to let those go and return back to your body. Use your next breath in either to walk or bend the knees, look forward, hop in between your hands. As you exhale, fold yourself forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Lift and extend. As you exhale, fold again. This time, as we inhale, drop the hips back, weight into the heels, lift the arms, Utkatasana, chair pose. So the weight is back in the hips. We should be able to lift our toes off the ground here. Spine is neutral, so we're looking about 1 meter ahead of us. Shoulders are down. See if you can lift the heels. So transition the weight onto the toes. Big breath in. As you exhale, start to bend the knees even more. Drop the hips towards the heels, but the heels are still lifted off the ground. Take a moment to rest here. You can always bring the hands down to the ground or towards heart center. Use your next breath in. Slow lift back to our Utkatasana. Draw the belly button in. Breathe in and lift. Keep the heels off the ground. Extend the legs, extend the arms. As you exhale, heels come down. Hands come down. Wow, take a little shake out of the legs. We're going to move through our main flow for today. I'm very sweaty, I don't know about you. Use your next breath in, sweep both hands high. Urdhva Hastasana, hands come apart slightly. Exhale, Utkatasana, hips go back. Use your next breath in, start to lift the heels off as high as you can. As you exhale, drop the hips towards the heels slowly. Use your next inhale to rise slowly. Keep the hips back. As you exhale, tip yourself forward. Forward fold, heels come down. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to the shins. As you exhale, hands come down. Step the right foot back. Turn the right toes out. Use your next breath in. Sweep the hands high. Virabhadrasana 1. As you exhale, bend into the left knee. Hips become square, so draw the right hip forward, left hip back. If you find it hard to square, take your right foot a little bit wider. Breathe in and lift. As you exhale, tip from the hips, reach your hands back. Next breath in, sweep again. This time, as you exhale, arms come out wide, palms up. Keep circling them behind you, clasp the hands together. Use your inhale to draw your knuckles down your legs, open through the heart. Exhale to deepen. See if you can pull your thumbs back just a little bit further. Big breath in. As you exhale, start to tip yourself forward onto the inside of the left thigh. Knuckles reach towards the top of the mat. Eye gaze on your back right toe. If you need to have a little bit of rest, rest your leg on your chest on your thigh. One more breath. Can you pull the knuckles forward even more? Place the right hand towards the ground on the inside of the left foot. Come to the right toes. Big breath in. Reach the left hand high. Right knee can come down here. Start to shift the eye gaze back down towards your right hand. Pivot your right heel towards the right side of your mat. Left foot takes a step back into your Vashisthasana, your side plank. Now you can always bring your right knee down here for a modified side plank. If you wanted a little bit more of a challenge, see if you can lift that left foot off. Hips are lifted here. Draw the shoulder blades back. Reach through the left fingertips. Take one more breath. When you're ready, left hand comes towards the ground into your plank position. As you exhale, chaturanga, optional. Inhale to open. Exhale to come back. Adho Mukha Svanasana or Balasana, up to you. Use your next breath in to either step or hop in between your hands. As you exhale, fold yourself forward. Good thing I've got a sweat towel here, it's very warm. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, fold again. Inhale to rise, lift the arms, lift the eye gaze. As you exhale, hands come by your sides. What you don't see here is I've got lights on me and it's a very humid day, so yeah. Use your next breath in, sweep the arms high. We're doing this on the other side. As you exhale, Utkatasana, hips go back. Draw the belly button in, shoulders down. Start to transition the weight forward. Inhale, lift the heels off. As you exhale, draw the hips down towards the heels slowly. Inhale to rise again slowly, shoulders come back. As you exhale, tip from the hips, forward fold, heels down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Shoulders back. As you exhale, hands come down. Step your left foot back, turn the toes out. Inhale to rise, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale to deepen. So bending the right knee, left hip forward. Ribs draw towards the hips. Breathe in, maybe a little baby back bend. As you exhale, tip yourself forward, reach the hands towards the back of the mat. Inhale to lift. As you exhale, open your arms wide, palms face up. Keep traveling the hands behind you as you clasp your hands together. See if you can press the palms together. Big breath in, draw the knuckles back. Exhale to deepen. One more breath in. Open through the heart space, and then as you exhale, tip forward. Bring your chest onto the inside of the right thigh as you draw your thumbs towards the top of the mat. Eye gaze on your back foot. Humbling out our warrior. Try one more breath here. Lift through the shoulders. Left hand comes towards the ground. Big breath in as you sweep the right hand high. Option here to draw the left knee down. Bring your eye gaze back towards your left hand. Step or draw the left heel towards the side of the mat as you step the right foot back into your Vinyasa. Remember, left knee can come down or right foot can come off. Keep lifting the hips up high. If you wanted to challenge your eye gaze, you could bring it up towards your top hand. One more breath. Shift the eye gaze back down. Find your plank position on an in-breath. As you exhale, your Vinyasa. Finding your way back into your downward facing dog. Well done. Use your next breath in either to walk or bend your legs, step forward, jump, hop, play, whatever you want to get towards the top of the mat. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, fold back again. Inhale to rise, lift the arms. Exhale, hands by the sides. We're going to go through that sequence one more time, then we'll slow things down. We're going to add and modify as we go. Inhale, lift the arms. As you exhale, Utkatasana, hips go back. So knees are pressing out over the toes. Start to lift the heels off the ground. Option to stay here or keep the heels grounded. Or see if you can transition the weight into the right toes. Lift the left foot off the ground. Left toes come back down. Transition the weight to the left. Right foot hovers. Transition the weight back. Breathe in. Lift the fingers a little higher, and then as you exhale, fold yourself forward. Inhaling, halfway lift. Hands to shins. As you exhale, hands come down, step your right foot back, turn the right toes out. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Outer edge of the right foot spins down. Exhale, deepen. Inhale, open your arms wide, palms face up. Exhale, take the hands behind the back, clasp the hands, draw the knuckles down. In breath. As you exhale, humble out your warrior. So chest comes down, hand comes through. Actually, I think it's the pinkies towards the top of the mat. Bring your hands towards the ground. Step your left foot towards the outside of the mat. Rest the right knee towards the ground. There are different options here. You could just stay on your hands. If you wanted to deepen, you could try draw one elbow down or just bend one elbow. If you wanted to, you could bring two elbows down and rest. If you wanted to try more of an active stretch, you could tuck onto the right toes, lift the right knee off, walk the hands back, extend the left hand out towards the left side of the mat behind the left calf. Right hand comes towards the side. You could stay here, or you could try and hover the hands. So kind of like in the airplane. One final option if you wanted the challenge is to find a bind. So taking the left hand behind the left thigh, right hand comes behind the back. If you are taking this bind, keep dropping into the hips, peel the left elbow as high as you can towards the ceiling. One more breath in whatever position you are in. If you have the bind, release the right hand towards the ground, release the left hand, and just rest the right knee down on the ground for just a little bit. We're going to play with our side plank again. So if you're on your elbows, come back up. Take a big breath in. Lift the left hand high. Maybe the right knee comes off the ground. As you exhale, pivot the right heel down. Step back into your plank. Taking whatever modification you would like here. If you wanted a little bit more, you could take the left foot behind you, lifting your hips, reaching the left hand forward into your wild thing. If you are taking this option, just squeeze the glutes. See if you can draw that left shoulder back so you're opening your heart space towards the sky. One more breath. When you're ready, just turning your eye gaze back to center. Big breath in, finding your plank position, finding your way back into your downward facing dog, or your child's pose. So relatively simple movements, but we are finding strength, heat, all of the good stuff, right? Use your next breath in to find your way towards the top of the mat. As you exhale, fold yourself forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. As you exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise. Feel that energy lift through the spine. As you exhale, hands by the sides, Tadasana. Last time with a sequence, and then we slow things down. Inhale, lift the arms. As you exhale, hips go back, Utkatasana. Shoulders pull back, ribs in. Start to lift the heels off the ground. See if you can transition the weight into the left foot. Hover the right foot off the ground. Tap the right foot down. Inhale as you lift the left foot off the ground. Exhale, tap it down. In breath. As you exhale, forward fold, heels come down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. As you exhale, hands come down, step the left foot back. Left heel comes down, big breath in, sweep the arms high, better Bajrasana one. Exhale, deepen through the hips, draw the ribs in. Inhale, open the arms wide. As you exhale, clasp the hands together, draw the knuckles down the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. One final breath in. As you exhale, dive the heart space towards the inside of the left thigh. Reach the knuckles towards the front of the mat. Keep dropping into your hips here. Hands reach towards the ground. Take the foot to the outside of the right mat. Soften the left knee down. You can absolutely stay here. You could come down to an elbow, come down to 2 elbows. If you're struggling to get into this position, you could come up onto your fingertips. You can just rock back and forward slightly. If you wanted a challenge, tuck onto the left toes, lift the left knee off. Walk yourself back slightly, drop the right shoulder down. Take the right hand towards the right side of the mat, come onto fingertips. Left hand to the outside of the left mat. Option to stay here or hover the hands, keep pressing out of the feet. Option to stay here or find the bind by wrapping the right hand behind the right thigh. Left hand behind the back. Keep peeling that right elbow high. Drop into the hips slightly, but keep pressing away from the feet. One more breath. Ooh. Release the hands back down. Bring the knee down if you're up. Take a few moments to breathe. Final parts of our sequence here. If you're on your elbows, come back to your hands. Maybe you tuck onto the left toes of the left knee. Big breath in as you sweep the right hand high. Start to drop the left heel down as you step back into your plank position. If you wanted to, you have the option to take the right foot behind the right knee, lifting the hips, reaching the right hand forward into your wild thing. So encouraging that right shoulder to turn away. Pressing through the feet so your left leg is long here, right knee is bent. Shift the eye gaze back down towards your mat. Breathe in as you touch your right hand, right foot back down if you're in your wild thing. As you exhale, finding your way back into a balasana. Knees wide, big toes together, or you can bring your knees in. Reminding ourselves that we move our body for so many different reasons. Not only just to feel good physically, but also to create movement of energy in the other bodies. It allows us to let go of anything that we may be holding on to, which makes up space, which makes more space for new energy to come through as well. Check back in with your intention. Ask yourself if you have been aligning yourself, your practice with this intention. If you feel like this intention is still relevant and you haven't been aligning it, just know that we're coming down towards the end of it. As much as you can, try to keep your focus on this intention. If you need a new intention, go for it. We're not holding on to anything. Really living in the moment and seeing what we need each and every time we draw the awareness inwards. I'm going to start to slow things down here. So shift the weight forward slightly, either coming into a very wide-legged child's pose, as wide as you can, or if you wanted to find a frog pose, this is also an option here. And you can do that by taking the feet out slightly, flexing the toes so that they're in line. The heels are in line with the knees. This is going to feel pretty intense. Think about drawing your belly button into the spine. So our spine is neutral. It's very easy to extend our spine here. So keep drawing it in, pressing through the elbows. If it feels good, maybe you rock your hips in and out slightly. And bring some focus to your breath. Notice where you are breathing. Noticing the quality of your breath. Let's take about 3 more breaths here, knowing that when we feel discomfort, we have choices. One of them can be to avoid the pain. Another being we can breathe through and sit with it. Often that leads us to greater things on the other side. If you've got your feet wide, bring the toes back together, then slide the knees back together. Come back into a narrowed leg child's pose, just resting your hips back in a more neutral position. When you're ready, just roll yourself up into a tabletop position. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take a big breath in and drop the belly. Lift your eye gaze, lift the tailbone. Shoulders press back. As you exhale, round through the upper back. Draw the navel towards the spine. Press away from the ground. I'll try a few more of these in your own time. Usually, cat and cows we begin with because it's such a great way to warm up the spine. But it's also nice to do it once we've warmed up to just see that deeper range. Notice if we can move in a higher range of motion, a deeper range of motion. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, just finding a neutral spine. Use your next breath in, sweep the left hand towards the sky. As you exhale, thread that left hand through towards the right side. Drop your left head towards the ground, left side of your head. Left shoulder comes down. And taking a little twist of the spine here, so gentle press of the right hand away into the ground to draw the right shoulder away. Then start to slide the right leg up towards the side of the mat. Your right leg is long, heel is out from the hip, right toes turning forward. So it's almost like you're trying to reach your left hand towards your right big toe. See if you can pull the belly button towards the ground. So that's going to encourage the hips to tilt forward and for us to feel a stretch through the hamstrings. Let's try one more breath. Bring the right hand back towards the ground. Bring the left hand next to the right into your tabletop, but keep the right leg extended. Little shift forward and back. opening through the adductor, the inner of the thigh. Make sure that the outer edge of the right foot is pressing down. And then when you're ready, shift the weight back into your hands. Tuck onto the left toes, sweep the right toes high, three-legged dog. Draw the right hip down. As you exhale, roll yourself forward. Draw the right knee towards the right wrist. Take the right foot down and step back into your pigeon pose, so wiggling your left foot back. If you need to, drop your hips towards the left side, find a more 90-90 position. If you felt comfortable, lift your hips, try draw the left hip towards the right foot. Big breath in, lift up tall. As you exhale, maybe folding yourself forward. One option here, you can stay with this, or you can come up to find the left foot, or you could stay down if you're feeling pretty bendy today. So taking maybe the left hand around the left foot and leaning forward, although you can always come up if you need a bit more space. Can you make your breath fluid? Letting the inhale flow into the exhale. And take one more breath in this position. And then when you're ready, just bring the hands back towards your leg. Just sliding the right knee back to the left, and send your hips back into your Balasana. Use your next breath in, find your way back through your tabletop, and we're going to take that all onto the other side. So breathe in, start to sweep the right hand high, twisting through the spine, and as you exhale, through the right hand towards the left. Right temple comes down, right shoulder comes down. Light press of the left hand to turn that left shoulder away. And then start to extend the left foot out towards the side. So left toes facing forward, heel directly in line with the hips. Keep the twist of your spine, but keep trying to tilt the pelvis forward. So imagine like you had a bucket of water in your hips. You're trying to spill it all out. Keep engaging through the left quadricep. One more breath. Use your next breath in. Press through the left hand. Take the right hand towards the ground. Take a little shift forward and back. This is one of my favorite movements to do because we don't often move our body like this. It's not often that we have our leg extended towards the side. And so often we can feel things that we haven't felt before, which is also exciting. Our body is so, when you can bring curiosity into your body and seeing how things move and things feel, it's just the best feeling. Let's take one more breath here. And then shift the weight back into your hands, tuck onto the right toes. Sweep the left leg high into a three-legged dog. Left hip comes down. As you exhale, roll yourself forward, left knee towards the left wrist. Walk that right foot back. Again, you can drop the hips so you're more open towards the right if you need a bit more space, or try draw that right hip towards the left heel if you're feeling pretty good. Maybe you walk your hands down, maybe go straight for the quadricep stretch by drawing the right foot in towards your glute. Again, you might walk yourself up a little bit further to take this variation. Two more breaths. if you've got the right foot. Let's release the right foot. We're all going to come onto our left sit bone and swing our legs forward. Both legs comes out in front of us, flex the toes up, big breath in. As we exhale, just fold yourself forward into your Paschimottanasana. So drawing the nose towards the knees. We're not going to stay here for too long. Letting the upper body relax, but keep some engagement within the front of the legs to help encourage the length of the back of the legs. Use your next in-breath, come back through center. We're going to head down onto our backs, leading quite quickly into our Savasana. So if there's anything that you'd like to pop on before we head down, please feel free to. Let's roll ourselves down our spine. When we're there, draw the right knee up into the chest. Feel into that space that you've created in the last wee while, last time that we've been here. Take the left hand around the outside of the right thigh, right hand extends towards the side. Drop the knee over towards the left. See if you can encourage the right shoulder to stay down as you turn your eye gaze down the right hand. Use your in-breath, come back through center. And then as you exhale, extend the right leg long, draw the left knee up into the chest. Perhaps taking a few circles from side to side with the knee. Movement that feels good. And then when you're ready, left hand extends towards the side. Shift your hips over to the left before dropping the knee over towards the right. Both shoulders aim to stay on the ground as you draw the left knee over. The knee is very likely not to touch the ground. Let's inhale, come back through center. Find a happy baby to finish. So taking the knees wide, perhaps the hands fall around the outsides of the thighs, or they can come up towards the outsides of the feet. Encourage the shoulders to come down. Encourage the whole of the spine, the back body to come down. So peeling the tailbone down. Maybe you extend and pull back in. When you feel ready, and you don't have to feel ready, you can find some more asanas to play with if you need to. We're going to find our way into our Savasana, in whatever shape, way, form that looks like. If we've never done Savasana before, it's a period of time at the end of our class, which is used as a rest. All right, so we're finding a position that feels good. Maybe that's legs extended. It might be a Supta Baddha Konasana with the feet together and the knees wide. And we're just using this time to just be. There is absolutely no pressure to do anything, to be anyone other than just being on your mat, breathing, noticing. We'll be here for a couple of minutes of quiet. If you do notice your mind floating away, as it very likely will do, it happens to all of us, just keep encouraging it with love, with kindness, back to the breath, back to the body. Can you notice if there are any parts of the body where you can bring more softness, more stillness into? Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the eyebrows, the eyelids, the lips. When we are able to relax our body, it also indicates to our mind and our heart that they can also relax as well. And start to take a few deeper breaths. Filling up the chest, the belly, the diaphragm, the ribs. Letting any blockages, any tension move through. Starting to take some gentle wiggles of the feet, wiggles of the hands. Making any other movements that feel good. Just slowly transitioning ourselves back towards our outer life. But before we do that, we just want to keep filling up the space, keep filling up our time, and not giving into that feeling of urgency, of rush. Letting ourselves perhaps even sit in this discomfort a little bit longer if it does feel uncomfortable, to move slowly here. We are going to find a way into a seat, whatever way that feels best for us, keeping the eyes closed once we've landed. And sitting up tall, feeling that natural lift of the spine, feeling that depth, that breadth of the air in our lungs. Listening back into our intention. Perhaps shifting the intention if we feel like it is no longer relevant and you would like to set yourself up for what you need for the rest of the day coming out of this practice. And let's bring our hands to heart center, reminding ourselves of this intention. And saying thanks for this practice that allows us to have space to be within, to let us be more intentional with our energy, to let us expand and to recede, finding that equilibrium between the two. And I thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think. I hope to move and breathe and be with you again soon. Namaste.